Became a city in 1837 with just over 3,000 people. Today there's about 2.7 million people in Chicago and around 9.8 million if you count the surrounding suburbs. That's pretty much where we are population-wise these days. So we will be going underneath a lot of bridges today. The first bridge we come to is the Lakeshore Drive Bridge. There used to be a guy that lived underneath it. Yeah. Back in 2004, Richard Dorsey figured out a way to crawl up into the inner steel framework inside of those walls, so he's hidden away from everybody, tapped into the city's electrical supply that runs to the bridge houses. So underneath that bridge, he had himself a television, a microwave, and a Sony PlayStation, all the comforts of home. What happened was, one of his friends was not so nice and tried to rob a convenience store. Rather than get thrown in jail for armed robbery, he told Richard Dorsey, and now there's no more people underneath the bridge. It's pretty much the end of that story. I do not have a segue for that one. So the first two buildings I'd like to show you today are going to be up ahead and to the left. Up ahead, to the left, start to see a tall building with shiny blue windows, and its most striking feature is the white, undulating, curvy balconies coming off of each floor. That would be the Aqua, 2009, designed by Jeannie Yang. The Aqua is 81 stories tall, has the largest outdoor pool and sun deck in Chicago. Each of those white, curvy balconies is put on there with the help of GPS because they're all uniquely shaped from one another. They wanted to make sure they got the desired visual effect they're going for. For me, it's like a cascading waterfall. We'll see the Aqua on the way back. I'll tell you more about it then, and the sun won't be in your eyes so bad too. To the left and behind the Aqua, there's a tall white building with dark vertical stripes all the way up and down. That would be the 83-story Aon Center, built in 1973 by Edward Durrell Stone. Aon is Chicago's third tallest building at 1,136 feet. Originally, Aon was the world's tallest marble-clad building. It no longer holds that title because it's no longer covered in marble. They discovered after its completion that the beautiful white Carrara marble they originally faced that building with, it was buckling and cracking because of Chicago's harsh winters. So they wrapped the building up so nothing would fall off and conk somebody in the head on the sidewalk, took all 43,000 panels of marble off, and then they replaced it with granite from North Carolina. The whole process cost them $80 million, which is almost as much as it cost to complete the building in the first place. You might be thinking, well, geez, Sarah, did the architects and engineers foresee that being a problem? Yeah, totally did. Originally, the Aon Center was the standard oil building. The president of the company, his wife, she's the one that wanted the marble. They all said, lady, you're crazy. It's not going to work in Chicago. Marble expands when it's hot, it contracts when it's cold. It's not a good idea. And she said, no, I want the marble. $80 million mistake and a big old whoops on that one. So here on the right, on the riverbank, we have a gorgeous fountain that is called Centennial Fountain because it was built in 1989 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Chicago Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. That's a lot of fancy words put together to mean the people that reverse the flow of the Chicago River. Some of you might know this already, but the river flows backwards. It used to flow east into Lake Michigan. Now it flows west, away from the lake. We had to go through all that trouble because in Chicago's early history, we had no sewers. We thought of this river as nothing more than a garbage dump. Human waste, industrial waste, animal carcasses, anything we didn't want, we dumped it in. And it carried out into Lake Michigan. Huge problem. Lake Michigan was, and still is, our source of drinking water. Thousands of people were dying from typhoid and cholera. So a group of guys got together and decided the best way to fix that would be to divert the flow of the river away from the lake. They dug a 28-mile-long canal on the south branch called the Chicago Sanitary and Shipping Canal by excavating all of that dirt, which, by the way, they excavated more dirt in the Sanitary and Shipping Canal than they did the Panama Canal, if that gives you an idea of the scope of all this. So by digging up all that dirt, they lowered the riverbed. Water wants to run on gravity, so it essentially sucked the river backwards, and now we send everything to St. Louis. Sorry, Cardinals fans.